Hello, this is a quick video response to the video documentary called We Found the Antichrist that is on 4 episodes here on YouTube. The video claimed the Roman Catholic Church and the papacy to be the Antichrist. I'm just gonna go straight to the core here on things because most of the viewers will be familiar with the whole subject. Like the video say, Antichrist, the word Antichrist only occurs 4 times in the Bible, all by John. And John is the only one talking about Antichrist, so somehow it's a new word introduced. However, the word anti is not a new word, and it occurs 17 times elsewhere in the New Testament. So by looking at these 17 other times, we will get a fair good idea of what the word anti really means. And all the time it occurs, it does not mean a temporary substitute such as the Pope claim it is. But instead it shows that the anti means a complete and a permanent replacement, better explained as exchanged. Anti means exchanged. When Achilles replaced his father King Herod because his father King Herod was dead, then the word anti is used to describe that he replaced him. Also, when Jesus gave his life as ransom for many, then the word anti is used to describe how Jesus gave his life anti-many, or in exchange for many, as would be the more correct word to say it. When Jesus said, "You have heard that it said, eye for eye, tooth for tooth," then what he is saying is eye anti-eye, tooth anti-tooth. Or yet again, eye exchanged for an eye, tooth exchanged for a tooth. What is even better with this text is that Jesus is also referring to the Hebrew text of the Old Testament. And if we go there as well, the word then is tahat. So it is written as eye tahat eye in the Old Testament, tooth tahat tooth. And tahat is also used several times in the Old Testament as well. And every time, as far as I have checked, it also used there to describe more or less complete transfer or complete exchange. Also, I have given you a link to the 17 times the word anti occurs in the New Testament below, and you can check it all out yourself. I advise you to do this, and you will then see that some of the more meaningless text we have in our modern translations today is only meaningless because they have misused the word anti and not used it correctly and put in the word exchanged. Such as when John the Baptist say that through Jesus' fulfillment we have received grace upon grace. And what he actually is saying is that through Jesus' fulfillment we have received grace exchanged for grace, which is also the more correct, I believe. Because the Greek text say through Jesus' fulfillment we have received grace anti-grace, or grace exchanged for grace. Check out yourself, it's quite fun to do actually. Also, I will quickly demonstrate what it means, the difference between being a substitute, such as the Pope is, and being a complete replacement, or an anti, as the word is. On a football team, there are 11 players who's in the start opening team. And then you have the substitute who joins in when the starting players get injured or sick or can't play. Here's David Beckham, who used to be in the starting 11 on Manchester United. And here is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was a substitute on Manchester United. Here's Ryan Giggs. Since I'm not interested in football, I'm not exactly sure it was him, but let's say for the sake of argument it was Ryan Giggs. He started on the team to take David Beckham's position on the team among the starting 11. So he was there to replace and exchange David Beckham completely. Ryan Giggs then becomes anti-David Beckham. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on the other hand, is still on the team, being the same old substitute, even ending his career by being called the best substitute in the world. And similar is also for the Pope. He does not try to replace Jesus, but he tries to substitute God's kingdom while Jesus is not here. Whether he does a good job or not is not for me to comment. Personally, I think it's far off from the first churches we saw, and I don't fancy it myself, but in terms of substituting God's glory, I think he do somehow quite a good job. But more importantly, Jesus himself, who also knew all about the evil crimes that some of God's churches would do in his very own name, towards Christians even Jesus said, "Do not stop them," when his apostles came to him and said that there are people not following us, driving out demons in your name. Jesus must have known that the crimes of the Catholic Church when he gave the answer. And I'm pretty sure that he might even have had the medieval Catholic Church in his mind, and not some hard-trying, well-meaning Christian who laid his hands on people, but yet Jesus gave his answer: do not stop them, because if they are for us, they are not against us. Because to our Lord, a lost sheep is more valued for its return back home than the already saved sheep. And of course Satan would kill Protestant Christians in Jesus' own name. Jesus knew this, he warned of this, that because of his name we will be killed. But Jesus also say, "Many will come to me on the day of judgment and say, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name cast out demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then he shall declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice lawlessness." So God is the one who passes out the judgment individually. And I have to agree with Jesus on this one, because if it hadn't been for the Roman Catholic Church and all its exploration into this world, many hundreds of millions of people will not claim Jesus to be Son of God today. So thanks to the Roman Catholic Church, despite its crimes, hundreds of millions of people for generations claim Jesus as Son of God, which is, according to John 3:15, 3:16, also what it takes to be saved. Then who is the Antichrist? According to John, there is many Antichrists, but Antichrist is the one who denies the Father and the Son. And one particular shall place himself in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God. And even though the temple of God is inside us, there's also a physical place here on earth where God's temple used to be. And if we go to that temple, which is in Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount, we find today another temple from another God. Here is the temple, it's called the Dome of the Rock. It is not a mosque, and it belongs to the Muslims. It belongs to the religion called Islam, and to a God called Allah. And if you look closely, both inside and outside of this temple is completely full of Muslim text, all taken from the Quran, which is then again said to be the exact words from their God called Allah. And all these texts are written there regarding Christians and Jews, where they say that Jesus is not the Son of God. Surely Allah will not take any offspring. Jesus is just a prophet. And it would be better for Christians not to say three Trinity, but to say one instead of three, as the Father and the Son does not really exist, etc., etc. So, according to John, this is the Antichrist, as he denies both the Father and the Son. And if you look at the historical facts, hundreds of millions of people for 1400 years have been deceived to think that Jesus is not the Son of God. Even if there came one Antichrist today, he will not compete with Muhammad and his deception of the entire Muslim world. So there you have him in the temple of God, proclaiming himself to be God, denying both the Father and the Son. Then finally, I want to comment on what is known as historical facts. Today, there are several different estimates regarding how many was killed by the Roman Catholic Church. And of course, the video we found the Antichrist comes up with the high-end numbers. It doesn't matter if it's not one of the least reliable sources we have, they stick to it as it suits their agenda. And they dismiss any other historical sources. They're not being objective, they're being subjective. And that, my dear listener, was the very crime the Roman Catholic Church did themselves. So in some way they become what they hate. Roman Catholic Church took small, insignificant facts and blew them out of proportion to accuse others from being from the devil. They did not regard scientific evidence, but only evidence that supported their case. The same method they use in this documentary is a modern example of Roman Catholic Church. Compared to any other pagan religion out there, Roman Catholic Church have been considered to be a safe haven. Their high-end numbers are also quite ridiculous. The one event that had a lot of killings was the 30 Years' War, where Protestant Christians ended up killing Catholics and the Roman Church losing great power. Similar is also with all the witch burnings, which was far more often happening outside the Roman Catholic Church than inside. At worst, the Roman Catholic Church acted like an Italian mafia, wanting all your money, but never really wanting to kill all of you, as you pay them the money. Thank you for watching. Please rate and subscribe. The next video I will comment on where to find the Roman Catholic Church inside the biblical prophecies.